The images in the following program are highly sensitive and may be as disturbing to viewers as they were to us. However, we have to show the truth about animal cruelty.
Kind and loving viewers, welcome to Animal World, our co-inhabitants, on Supreme Master Television. Today, on our Stop Animal Cruelty series, we will be viewing segments of a short documentary on primate experimentation that discusses the torture and abuse involved in using animals for so-called scientific research. Today's documentary was produced and filmed by Animal Defenders International, a noble organisation based in the UK that strives to protect animals from cruelty through various public awareness campaigns. Let's now view excerpts from the beginning of Save the Primates, written and directed by Tim Phillips and Jan Creamer, both of Animal Defenders International, and find out exactly how our loving friends, who share 96% of our DNA, are stolen from their families in the wild and sold to labs for a life of confinement, severe maltreatment, and often early death.
All primate species are intelligent. Some use tools, others show self-awareness, and they're good at problem-solving. Most live in social structures and family groups. We are primates. When justifying experiments on other primates, they're referred to as the non-human primates. Yet these non-human primates have proved themselves capable of learning rudimentary arithmetic, have demonstrated reasoning. Some have even learnt to speak in human sign language, and they display similar emotions to us, such as affection, anger, and sorrow, even empathy. But to argue that our similarities justify their use in laboratories is to ignore, at our peril, the fundamental biological differences at the physiological, genetic, and immune system level, which are so important to the outcome of any experiment. But whilst small differences in DNA can make huge differences in experiments, we are close enough to comprehend the suffering of our fellow primates when they're snatched from the wild, when caged, confined, transported, when restrained, injected with drugs, force-fed chemicals, deliberately brain damaged. We know they suffer. We know they suffer, as we would. Yet despite this, and that more sophisticated alternatives to animal experiments are available than ever before, the number of primates being used in experiments around the world is rising. Over 10,000 primates will die in European laboratories this year. In September 2007, members of the European Parliament adopted a written declaration calling for an urgent end to the use of apes and wild-caught monkeys in scientific experiments, and for a timetable to replace the use of all primates in experiments with alternatives. This reasonable demand must be implemented, whether it is for compassion, conservation, to maintain and enhance developments in science, or for human health. A quarter of primate species are threatened with extinction. Yet the Western research community demands the right to take these species for unnecessary and unreliable experiments, when alternatives could be used instead. the frightened monkeys are torn from the trees, their freedom, and families. Their forest is replaced by the barren, factory-type conditions of a laboratory, and some are put into isolation. Torture for a monkey. With an estimated 10% of primates in EU labs coming from the wild, and many more from wild-caught parents, good intent has not been enough, and a clear prohibition of this cruel business is desperately needed. Behind high walls, high security, and an initially smart exterior, we found these monkeys. It's hard to imagine a more miserable and desperate existence for these intelligent social animals. Most monkeys arriving in European laboratories are used in the type of commercial testing that is contracted by manufacturers of pharmaceutical, chemical, and other products to perform tests on an industrial scale. This is one of the most secretive areas of animal experimentation. These experiments are not scrutinized in advance by regulators, and such experiments are rarely, if ever, published. This ADI investigation gives a unique insight into how these monkeys live and die behind closed doors. Monkeys are placed in stock colony J06. Up to 15 share a room little more than 2 meters wide and tall by 3 meters long, with a small catching cage. Remember, these are animals that naturally live amongst trees, in large troops of 50 to 100 animals, and can travel over 1.5 kilometers in a day. Their home provides an average of 1 cubic meter per animal. The monkeys are moved to Unit M12 for experimentation. Some are kept in cages of roughly 1 cubic meter. 3 of these may be linked, with 3 monkeys sharing, their rich, natural habitat now replaced by a single horizontal bar per cage. UK regulation acknowledges primates have high intelligence, most have arboreal habits, and all need complex, stimulating environments. The gulf between how welfare is perceived inside and outside of laboratories is apparent. Then it is testing time. Tests involved anything from 4 to 72 monkeys. It takes 3 people to dose a small monkey by mouth. The catcher pins the animal's arms, the legger takes the legs, and another feeds a rubber tube down the throat to the animal's stomach and pumps in the test substance.
Let's now take a moment to consider the situation of these innocent sentient beings. When we return, we'll continue with more segments from the Save the Primates documentary and learn more about the absolutely horrendous treatment that these intelligent animal co-inhabitants must endure.
The images in the following program are highly sensitive and may be as disturbing to viewers as they were to us. However, we have to show the truth about animal cruelty.